Hey guys, getting ready to cook some supper. It's Wednesday. Um, Thought I would share with you guys what we're doing tonight. Tonight we're doing a fairly easy meal, fairly quick meal. It's kind of like an adult sloppy Joe. So, well, it is sloppy Joe. Only it's got a little more to it than say what you might have had when you were a kid, or what you may even have now, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you guys make your sloppy Joe, but I'll show you how we make ours. And uh, so I know when I was growing up as a kid, my mom's sloppy Joe, which was good. I mean, but it was really a very basic sloppy Joe. It had ketchup and Worcestershire sauce in it, I think, and not a whole lot more. So it yeah, just ketchup and Worcestershire sauce. It was pretty basic, but it was good. That's I'm assuming that's maybe what my grandmother made for my mom or something like that. Um, but that's what we grew up on. And then I fell upon this recipe. Oh, I don't know, a couple years ago maybe. Sorry, I'm not looking at you. Hamburger. We'll go over the recipe here in a second. But it's once again from Kent Rollins, and it's his sloppy Joe mix. He's got a video on it. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description, but don't count on that. My mind has just been not where it needs to be. So, let me throw my trash away while I talk. So, this is it's a spicier, more, I guess the best way to describe it, adult-like sloppy Joe. Um, and it's a little spicy. I mean, you can make it not spicy by all means. Our house though seems to thrive on spicy, so we're okay with it. Even Abby likes it with the spicy in it. Although, like I said, anything we make, on Wednesdays, there's always options to change. There's nothing for verbatim that has to go with this. All right, so the first thing that let's go over the ingredients list, and the very first thing on there is 1.5 pounds of hamburger. So that you can do a little more, a little less, but I know the recipe we use calls for 1.5 pounds. You want to brown it. You want to start browning it right away. I got it browning over there in the cast iron skillet. So the next thing, and you can use 80/20 beef, which is pretty much the standard hamburger you buy at any grocery store or at your butcher shop. Although I believe that's 90/10. So I mean, you can use any beef you want, but 80/20 does have that little extra bit of grease in it that helps with flavor. You want 1 yellow onion, and the size of it will depend on how much you like onion. Tonight I only had one little yellow onion left, even though I just went to the grocery store twice since I realized I needed onions. I still keep forgetting, so I added some shallots to ours, which are just a sweeter, little peppier yellow onion, or red onion, like they're purple. 1/3 cup of brown sugar. Doesn't have to be packed down. You also need 1 can of Rattel diced tomatoes and green chilies. 10-ounce can. If you like more, get the bigger can. Like I said, all of this is adjustable. I'm just telling you what's in it, and what I'm putting in it. In this case, it's a 10-ounce can. 1 to 2 chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. All right, so you'll find those in the international aisle. They're the little cans. There's 2 of them. Now, if you use these, and if you like them, that's only 2 of them. So then the can holds about 5. And they're in the adobo sauce. So what you want to do, after you open up the can, you can stick it in the fridge if you're going to use it quick, but if not, just put it in the freezer. It'll hold good for, a few months. I think we've been working on that now for 3 months, and they're still good. They're not freezer burnt. If you can vacuum seal them, great. If not, that's okay too. You need a half a cup of your favorite barbecue sauce or a barbecue sauce, whichever you prefer. I cook with open pit. Personally, I think it's a good barbecue sauce to cook with. It it has decent flavor, but it's not doesn't overtake the dish. Anytime you cook with it. Now, the next thing you need is 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard. Any mustard you like, just yellow mustard. I'm using Great Value. I don't measure out mustard. I've gotten to the point where I can kind of look at it and tell, well, with a lot of things, I can just look at it and kind of tell. Like I said, this isn't an exact. It's not like we're baking a cake. You don't need exactly grams of. This is just how much do you like of it, things like that. And the very last thing you need is 3/4 a cup to a cup of your favorite cheese. In this case tonight, we're using Colby Jack. I think the recipe calls for pepper jack. Don't have any, but that's all right. Put whatever cheese you like in it. Anytime you cook for you and your family. don't, I mean, you should always maybe try a recipe out the way it's written the first go around with cooking, but like I know I preach this in every video that every Wednesday when we cook. But when it comes down to it, you're going to try it the first time, and you may go, oh, well, I think this would taste better with this in it, or this in it, or that in it, and put that in it. Make it your own. Make it for your family, and then that way, as you get older and you have kids, or if you already have kids, you can pass that on to them, and they can pass it on to their kids, and then 100 years from now, they're going, oh, this was my great grand whatever, grandma, grandpa, whichever you might end up being, his recipe, and it's amazing, and it'll be because you did it. And this would be a good one to do with your kids. If Abby was in the mood to cook, she'd be in here with us. Still working on that. She likes to bounce. She goes and does her thing, and then she'll come in for a few seconds, talk. Most of the time you've seen, she says hi, and then she moves on. She's got better things to do than hang out with Dad some days. So, all right, let me get the camera moved, and we'll get over to the stove, and we'll take it from there. All right? Hold on, be back in 1 millisecond. Okay, guys, so we're at the point now where the hamburger's browned about halfway. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's still a little pink in there to it. At this point is when you want to add your onions. Because what you're wanting to do is you're wanting them to cook down, you're wanting that hamburger to soak in some of that flavor of the onion. But this will give them time to get a little translucent. And notice I thinly cut my onions, but they're not all completely diced. They're different sizes. Cut your onion to whatever size you like. That's kind of, I would recommend maybe a smaller cut, but not necessarily the smallest cut. So what this does is it gives it time to kind of loosen them up, soften them. They'll start to turn, translucent or kind of clear. And if you have any big pieces of onion, use your spatula and knock them down a little bit. But you're going to let this cook for, 2-3 minutes. I mean, this really is probably one of the quicker weeknight meals you can make, which is why my mom made Sloppy Joe's a lot. I mean, hers took last time. At this point here where the hamburger's brown is where you put in the ketchup and Worcestershire sauce to taste. There's no known measurements for it. In that case, like I said, that is very kid-friendly, a very kid-friendly, not spicy, basic, quick one. If you're trying out, do up a pound of hamburger, maybe 3 tablespoons of ketchup and a couple splashes of Worcestershire sauce. Start there, taste it, see if you like it. You can always add in a little garlic salt or seasoning salt to it if that's what you desire. But that's really about all there is to that. Like I said, that's very quick, very kid-friendly. Ketchup and Worcestershire sauce to taste, hamburger. Boom, done. Sloppy Joe's. When I make it like that, I usually make it till it looks glistening, till everything looks wet with the ketchup and Worcestershire sauce, and I stop. And that for us is about is about as far as we go with it. That's how my mom made it. So, hamburger's done. Didn't take long. The onions and shallots are small enough that they're fairly translucent. And it's only taking a couple minutes. It really doesn't take long at all. It probably didn't even take a full 3 minutes. So, and they're starting to soften up. You'll know, they'll start to turn a little clear. Let me see if I can find one to show you here. That might look decent. Yeah, I mean, they're not as clear as I'd like them to be, but they're starting to get there. Yeah, they'll be soft at any rate. They won't have that complete crunch to them. So, what do we do next? All we have to do next, honest to goodness, dump everything in and stir. So, we got it going. You don't have to drain any of the grease. If you want to drain the grease, you can, but you don't have to. I did drain the Rotella, though. I have found, after making this a lot, that the juice in the Rotella actually kind of makes the Sloppy Joe a little too runny. Now, if you want to cook it down longer, great. But that's completely up to you. Leave the juice in. It does add flavor. Now, let's see if we can do this. 2 tablespoons of mustard about right. 1, 2. So, if you want to learn how to do that, or know how to do that, you just simply think to yourself, I don't know what I did with my there it is, barbecue sauce. And then the barbecue sauce. But I measure by sight, by envisioning the measuring cup I use, and pretend I'm squirting it into that. That's how I kind of learned how to get it. And I'm usually pretty darn close. If we would have taken a tablespoon and done that with an actual tablespoon, I bet you it'd have been a tablespoon. I could have been wrong, but, that's all right. When I try it, if it needs a little more mustard, I'll put a little more mustard in it. So we got all that mixed in. Good to go. Doesn't that look wonderful? It's colorful. It's, got a lot of... it's just, I'm here to tell you, we've had this a dozen times, and it's awesome. Now, if you couldn't get your adobe chilies chopped up very well, it's okay. When you put them in the pan, as they heat up, they will fall apart. That's not a problem. So put the adobe chilies in, we put the Rotella in, the mustard, the brown sugar, the barbecue sauce. The only thing I haven't gotten in here yet is the cheese. And I'll do that last. So what we'll do is get this all mixed up. And you want this to cook together for about, 15, 20 minutes maybe. I'm pretty sure that's what, I don't have the time written down. I usually just let it cook for about 10, 15 minutes. And all you're looking to do now is just let all of this, all the seasonings and juices and hamburger and barbecue sauce and everything just kind of blend together. You're going to let those chili peppers and chipotle peppers and adobo sauce do their thing. Oh, it smells so good. Let the onions finish doing their thing. The hamburger's cooked, but it's still, it's not completely cooked, but it's close. It's soaking up that flavor, all that goodness. It's all just mingling together. All right, so what I'm going to do is let this go for about 10, 15 minutes, and you just want it to simmer. You don't have to have your pan blistering and going, but let it go, like I said, 10, 15 minutes. And then when we come back, we'll add the cheese, stir it in, and we'll give it a taste, see how it goes. All right, I'll see you here in just a second. All right, guys, I'm back. We let it cook for about 10, 15 minutes. Sorry. Here is our finished product. Looks delicious. I haven't put the cheese in it yet. So what we're going to do now is throw the cheese on it, slap it on a bun, and see how it tastes. The reason, you can put the cheese in any time. I just don't put it in until last. for whatever reason. That's just kind of what I do, I guess. So, you put the cheese in there. And cheese is optional also. Maybe if you don't like cheese, it's not a lot of cheese, but if you're not a cheese person or whatever, that's fine. You don't need to put cheese in it. There's no rule that says you have to. Turn on the light so I can see a little bit better. Alright, got the cheese in there. Now we're going to grab us a bun. Now, if you want to get really fancy, which we're not doing tonight, turn your oven on about 250, 300 degrees. Put your buns in there, open them up, put them this side, that side down. It'll toast them, and they'll taste amazing. All right, there's another look at our Sloppy Joe. I think it looks delicious. It's got a lot of flavor to it. Before you take it off the range, that's when you want to taste for seasoning. Now, I didn't add anything to it. I did taste it. And it was right where we needed it to be. But now we're going to take a bite with you guys. Yeah, want a bite? It's good, I'm telling you. All right, I'm here to tell you, that's good. Okay, so what I can taste, because that's really good. I knew it would be. We've made this dozens of times over the last 2 years. You're going to taste a little bit of the chipotle peppers, and the adobo sauce. But with that heat comes the brown sugar and the mustard and the barbecue salt. You can literally taste everything in it. You can taste the Rotel too. Like I said, if you leave a little bit of the juice, the Rotel comes into it. It gives it a little more of the Rotel flavor. But you can still taste. You can literally taste everything that you put in it, which in my mind is crazy. Because inevitably, in some dish or another, there's always one thing that stands out above the others. And this one, the way it's set up, you can taste the chipotle first, followed by the brown sugar, followed by the barbecue sauce, mustard, and Rotel, kind of in a blend. It's crazy good. So, that is how we make our Sloppy Joe. I really hope you try it. And maybe do something a little different to it. And make it your own. Let me know down in the comments or on Facebook. Look me up on Facebook. Or take a picture of it and show me on Instagram. Or send me a picture on Messenger. I'm on all of those formats. The only thing I don't do is Snapchat and Twitter. I try to stay away from Twitter. Twitter's dangerous. So, and they tell me Twitter's for old people, and I'm not old. Unlike some people in my house. So, that being said, I hope you try this. Let me know if you do, because it's really good. It's really easy. It's a good Monday through Friday meal that maybe takes, 30 minutes tops. Most of that's browning the hamburger and then letting it simmer on the stove to blend the stuff together. All right, well, we're going to grab some potato chips tonight to go with this and the baked beans that we made in the canning video. We're having those with it. And have some dinner. Enjoy each other's company. All right, I love you. Tell somebody else you love them. It'll make their day a whole lot better, I promise. All right, I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.